All right, ladies, I am going to go over some of the most frequently asked questions and concerns that come up with joining my program. And if you have any more questions, type them in the chat so that I can answer them as they come in. Some of these I've gotten ahead of time or have been questions that have come up a lot over the years. And so I'm going to answer them all today. All right, let's start with question number one, which is, what do you teach inside your coaching program? And here is what I always say to that. I teach a simple 5-step process to help you retrain your brain and process all of the emotional baggage that you have been carrying around so that you can stop carrying the weight of the past and stop carrying it with you so that you can actually stop getting triggered, stop having that weight weigh you down so you feel like you can actually move through life instead of just shoving down and powering through. And then retraining your brain is learning how to manage your mind in a way that makes it possible so you stop recreating the same patterns. Our brain likes to operate in the same way over and over again. That's what enables us to go on autopilot, right? Like think about driving a car. When you first learn how to drive a car, when you get in the wheel, I remember when I learned how to drive a car, it was, okay, where is my brake? Which one is my pedal? I need to adjust my mirrors. And I was so focused on all of the things. And yet now it's so familiar to me that I don't really have to think about it. I just get in my car and I go. And that's what our brain likes to do. Our brain is very efficient, and its job is to help create patterns that make it easier so it doesn't have to think, oh, I need to lift my arm. Oh, I need to stand up. Oh, I need to breathe in and out. It does all of these things on autopilot. And the same thing happens with the thoughts that we're thinking, the beliefs that we have, the feelings, the patterns that we create. So that is what happens when we get triggered. We have an automatic response based on something that's happened in the past. And that's totally well and good. And it makes sense that our brain responded that way in the past. But if we don't want to keep getting triggered, then we need to learn how to retrain our brain and process the emotional pain that is getting triggered. And that's what I teach how to do. Okay. All right. Question number two is, how is this different than therapy? Really good question. One of the biggest differences is that this is a combination, coaching is a combination of mental and emotional work. So it's not just cognitive and it's not just emotional. It's a combination of the two. Traditional talk therapy relies mostly on creating kind of a coping mechanism where you come and you divulge everything that's been weighing you down. And there's not a lot of solutions. It feels really good. It kind of just takes the edge off so that you can get through another week, but they don't really give you a ton of tools to be able to actually manage what's going on and change the behavior. This is different. Coaching is where my job is to come in and help you see the patterns that are going on in your brain, show them to you, and then you get to decide if you want to keep them or not. And if you want to keep them, no problem. And if you don't, then I can teach you the tools to how to change that. These are actual practical tools to learn how to rewire your brain, learn how to process your emotions or feel your feelings so that you don't have to carry that emotional baggage around. Okay. This also is very specifically tailored to you because I've been through what you're going through, right? This isn't just somebody who's read it in a textbook. I have been through the whole process. It is the school of hard knocks. I have been through what you're going through. And so I am able to speak at it from a different perspective, to understand you from a different perspective and know how these tools apply in real time, in real life, rather than just as a theoretical concept. So the biggest difference that I see is that I'm a specialist. Think about going to a doctor. You have general practitioners and they're great and there's a space for them, but sometimes you need a specialist, somebody who is specific, who has additional training in your specific pain point and problem. And that's me, and that's what I do. Okay. The next question is, how is your program set up? What does it look like? Okay, what are the details of the program? The biggest, most amazing part of my program is that it's lifetime access. It does not expire. And I love this for so many reasons. Number one is that it gives women a chance to come work with me as soon as they find me. Right? This isn't something you have to wait before the doors to open 3 months from now. And it also means it never expires, which means that 6 months from now, if heaven forbid your husband has a relapse, you have somebody in your corner. You have somebody who is right there, who is willing to help you and has everything that you need to give you the tools and the support that you need to make it through. I was talking to a client just yesterday. She came onto one of our coaching calls and she said she hadn't been on in months. And she actually mentioned it. She was like, I haven't been on in months, but I love that I'm able to just hop on, even though I haven't been on in months. You still know me, and I'm still able to get help with what I need today. I've been totally fine for a couple of months, but something circumstantially has shifted and I need to learn how to work through it and I need help with that. And so I was able to do that for her. And that's something that's so beautiful, is so that you never are without the help that you need. Because I remember being there. I remember being in a place where I was trying to work through all the pain and all the problems with my husband's pornography addiction, and I had nobody there. And it was a weekend, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? And we called my husband's therapist, but we couldn't get in until Monday. And I said, as soon as I become a coach, this was when I was in life coach training. And I said, as soon as I become a coach, I want to create a program that is available. So not only is it lifetime access, but it also gives you twice weekly coaching calls. And that's something that I love too. All of the coaching that I do is personal one-on-one coaching. We do it in a group container. Now, here's what that means. It means that whenever the call is scheduled, you can join, and we usually have between 5 and 15 women on any call. And I'll just get on and I'll say, all right, ladies, who wants some coaching? And you'll say, oh my gosh, I need some coaching. And so I'll say, all right, let's go. And so you and I do personal coaching one-on-one, but everyone else on the call is listening. And that enables them to actually learn from what you're getting coached on and vice versa. I have so many women that get on the calls and they say, I don't actually need anything specific today. I'm just listening in. And then when they listen in to other people getting coached, they type in the chat and they're like, that is actually exactly what I didn't even realize I needed coaching on. And it's so powerful. You actually get twice as far as when you did one-on-one coaching. Because I used to do one-on-one coaching where I would just get on one call and I would do back-to-back calls right after the other, and I would coach on the exact same thing. And I thought, I want to create a place where these women can hear each other so that they can learn from each other and they can actually get farther. Plus, this also starts to break up the lie that you're all by yourself, because being the wife of a porn addict can be really lonely. It can be really isolating. And that's why I have a group that you get to join as soon as you join, is my private group of clients. You meet these women on the calls, you gain relationships with them, you become friends with them. And that just lets you know that, one, you have the support that you need, but two, you're also not by yourself, right? The other thing that I love about this is that you also get 24/7 direct access coaching. Here's what that means. That means that not only do we do the coaching calls twice a week, you also get the ability to message me at any time. I have a private messaging app. It's called Slack, and it's totally free. And when you sign up, you join my group, and it's just me and my clients. This is where I post announcements. This is where I let you know when the calls are going to be, but it also gives you the ability to personally message me at any time. So if you can't make a call, or if you have something that comes up in between calls, no problem. You can just message me and I will be able to help you. And again, that's 24/7. So you are never left in the dark. You always have the support that you need. You also get access to my entire online virtual course. I have created a beautiful, it's a gold mine. I have created a gold mine of material that is all for you. It is teaching all of the practical tools that I was talking about, how to retrain your brain, how to process your emotions. And I'm teaching all of those tools in videos, in worksheets that will enable you to actually take what you've been hearing me talk about and apply it. Combined with the coaching calls, this is how you make the change. This is how you actually transform. You get access to all that material. And again, it's personalized and specifically created and designed for what you're going through. I have master classes on confident sexuality and communication and how to trust. How do you rebuild trust? Guess what? I can teach you that. How do you forgive? How do you heal resentment? How do you get past the anger that you're feeling? I have master classes on every single one of these topics, and they're all in there waiting for you. My clients get unlimited access, not only to everything I've already created, but also everything that I will create in the future. They get access for free to all my future master classes. So all of that is combined into the program. So that is the structure of the program, how it's built, and it's all designed specifically for you. All right, so here is the next question. How much does it cost? Typically, it costs $6,000. $5,999 if we're being exact, okay? It costs $6,000 for all of that lifetime access, the twice weekly calls, everything that I just mentioned. But right now, I am doing a discount. Normally what I have is I have a 6-month payment plan that's available. So it just takes that $6,000 and splits it up over 6 months. So you have 6 payments of $999, and after that, it's done. There's no membership fees, there's no annual renewal. It's just the one fee split up over 6 payments. Or you can choose to do a pay in full price and you get a discount. I take $500 off, so it's $5,500, okay? But right now, and this expires tonight, I am doing a bonus discount, and this is to help you make the decision to go forward. And I'm taking an additional $1,000 off the pay in full discount. So you're getting $1,500 off the regular price. So normally it's $6,000. Today, it's $4,500. And I have an additional payment option for you, which I've never done before, which is I'm taking that $4,500 and I'm splitting that into a 6-month payment plan. Okay, so not only do you get $1,500 off, now you get to split it up over 6 months. So it's just over $700 a month for 6 months, and then you get access to everything that we just talked about. Okay, and again, that expires tonight. So if you know that you want this, then today is the best time to join. And we're going to go over some price thoughts in just a minute. Okay, here is the next question. Okay, $6,000 is a lot of money. I don't think I can do it. Okay, let's talk about it. I completely understand that $6,000 is a lot of money. It is. I'm admitting it. It is a lot of money. Yes, but I want to put it in a little bit of perspective for you. I actually wrote this all out because I wrote out this math and I wanted to talk about it because this is something that comes up a ton. Okay, so let's compare this. Let's say you say, all right, I want to do this, but it's a big financial investment and I'd rather do therapy instead. I'm already paying for insurance. Let me go to therapy. No problem. Okay. Let's say you decide to do traditional therapy instead. Well, traditional therapy is typically between $100 to $200 a session. Okay. And yes, that's even with insurance. And if you decide to go to a specialist like me, it's even more. Okay. If you decide to go to a sex therapist, or if you decide to go to somebody who is trauma informed, like myself, then it's typically upwards of $300 to $400 a session. But let's go conservative. Okay. And let's say that you're paying $100 a session. And let's say that you go once a week for a year. Okay. That's $100 a session times 52 sessions, which is $5,200 for 1 year. And you only get to go once a week. Okay. That is more expensive than what I'm offering you right now, and you get a lifetime access. It doesn't expire. You get twice a week coaching, and you get the benefit of actually working with somebody who's been through what you're going through and has the tools to enable you to work through it and get past it, not just talk about it and take the edge off so that you can make it through another week. I'm not interested in just helping you manage. Guess what, ladies? You're actually managing okay. You're handling it just fine, because you're still alive, you're still married, you're still getting to your kids to school, you're still eating, you're still getting up in the day, you're doing all right, you're still alive. But I want to offer you something that's more than just being alive. I want to offer you a life where you actually get to love your life again, where you get to get off this emotional roller coaster that you've been on, where you get to stop being exhausted because of the emotional toll of how you're affected by what your husband's behavior has been. And I want to get you to a place where you are no longer living with triggers, no longer living in fear of another relapse, because that is possible. It's just that no one's told you that it is, and no one's told you how to do it. And that's exactly what I do. Okay. All right. The next question. If I work on myself, won't that let him off the hook? Okay. I love this question. It comes up a ton and I completely understand it. But I want you to notice that this is actually coming from a misbelief. Okay. This is coming from a misbelief that your pain is somehow going to make him hit rock bottom. Right. And I remember being there. It's like, if he just knew how much this hurt me, then he would stop. Right. And that sounds really nice. And it sounds really romantic. And part of us kind of really wishes it were true. Okay. The problem with this is that it's not true, because your pain is not going to be the thing that makes him stop, because you're not the reason he's doing it. So you're not going to be the reason that he stops. And even though we logically know that, emotionally, part of us really wishes that we could be part of the solution. And the reason that we want that is because it feels a little bit more like we're in control, right? It gives us a false sense of control, like we're actually doing something, like we're fighting this together, right? And that's what our brain really likes. It feels really good, and it feels a whole lot better than actually admitting, I don't have any responsibility for my husband's behavior. There's nothing that I can do about it. If he chooses to watch porn, there's nothing I can do. He's an adult man. I can't do anything about it. And that's really hard to sit with. So we would rather tell ourselves that there's something we can do. And this is the misbelief that our pain is somehow going to be the thing that makes him stop. Does this make sense? Right? It's if it were true, ladies, that you not being in pain meant that he could watch porn, right? Because that's basically what we're saying. If we're saying, well, if I do work on myself, then that lets him off the hook. We're saying that my pain, you feeling pain, is somehow going to mean that he doesn't watch porn, right? But if that were true, then the opposite would also have to be true, which would mean that you being in pain would mean that he couldn't watch porn. And you're in pain right now. So how's that working? Does this make sense? Our brain is so sneaky, it doesn't even realize that it's believing this, but it believes, wait, if I do the work on myself and I heal, that means that he's off the hook, that he gets to do whatever he wants. Ladies, he gets to do whatever he wants anyway. So what I want to offer, this is just a misbelief and an indication that you are keeping yourself tethered to his behavior, which is even more of a red flag for you. That means, yes, you absolutely need to come coaching because your brain has connected yourself to your husband's pornography problem, and it's making it mean something about you. And that's not what we need for you. And that's not where you have to live. So come coach with me so we can start breaking up with that. Okay. All right. Also, with that, I want to mention that working on yourself does not mean you excuse his behavior or condone it in any way. And it can feel really scary to start working on yourself, but I want you to notice that lie is that if your brain is saying, well, I'm nervous that me working on myself means that I excuse his behavior, I'm giving him permission to go watch porn, I'm condoning his behavior, it doesn't mean any of that. You working on yourself, all it is giving yourself emotional freedom. Okay. All right. Next question or thought that I hear often is maybe things will get better with time. Maybe I just need to wait a little bit more, give him more time. We just need to keep doing what we're doing longer. Okay. And here's what I want to offer for that. If time healed all wounds, then everybody over the age of 35 would be like emotionally stable and resilient. And the older people got, the better they would become. And in fact, the opposite is true. Right? Have you met some really grumpy and grouchy old people? Okay. Some really hurt and bitter and resentful old people? Yes, because time is irrelevant. In fact, the opposite is often true. The things that we don't heal from, they actually compound. Okay. The wounds that we don't heal fester and they start to create more problems. So the sooner you start working at it, the better it will be rather than the reverse, which is exactly why too, if you have a husband who has been working on himself for a year, then you would think you would be that much farther. Or if your husband has been clean for 10 years and you're like, why am I still struggling with this? It's because time is irrelevant. Okay. Does that make sense? Think about it this way. If you broke your arm, okay, let's say you broke your arm. Then you were like, you know what? I'm going to go to the doctor. And they said, okay, what we need to do is we need to set it and we need to put it in a cast. And this is what we need to do. And you were like, you know what? No, I'm totally fine. All I need to do is get some pain medication. All I need to do is just something to take the edge off. And what happens is then you just take the edge off over and over and over. But if we don't actually let your arm heal correctly, it then heals incorrectly and creates more of a problem. Then you have chronic pain. Then you have your body trying to compensate for this broken arm and you're not able to do the things that you want to do because your arm doesn't sit in the right way or it's really painful to participate in certain activities. What I want to offer is that we heal it correctly now so that you avoid all of the future pain that happens and comes when you don't take the time to heal it correctly. Because time is not going to heal your arm correctly. You actually need to come to a specialist, someone who knows exactly how to heal what has been broken and actually do the treatment that is designed for you to enable you to have the life you want to live. That's what I do. Okay. Next question. I'd love to heal from this, but I don't have the energy. Yes, of course you don't have the energy. Do you want to know why? It's because you're carrying around all the years of emotional baggage that's still in there. And when you're carrying around all that emotional baggage, it is literally weighing you down, which means that your emotional capacity to deal with your day-to-day stuff is very small because you have all of this emotional baggage that is just high up here, up into your neck, and it is just making you feel like you are treading water, right? You are just treading your emotions, right, ladies? And all that's happening is since you're right here, all it takes is just the last little drop to make you explode. So normally what happens is we just carry around all of this emotional baggage and it festers and it builds. Think of like a tea kettle and it's boiling and it gets to here and all of a sudden that last drop comes in and it's more than we can handle and we let off steam and we let off just enough steam for us to go back to treading water and then we put the lid back on and we just keep shutting it down and powering through. And that works until it doesn't, right? Until the next final straw. That's why we have that phrase. The final straw comes and you lose it, right? And you break down and cry, or you throw a fit, or you flip off the car next to you, whatever it is, because it's not even about that thing. It's not about the last straw. It's about all of that emotional baggage weighing you down. What I want to offer is that this is actually the thing that's going to make it even easier. That's going to make your life more enjoyable because we're going to clear all of that out. I'm going to teach you how to do it so that you can stop carrying it around with you. And when you do that, you will be fully free to experience your life in a way with more energy than you had before. Okay. All right. Here's the next question. What if I can't make a coaching call? No problem. They are all recorded and they are housed in my online platform for my clients so that they can watch it at a different time. Or this is why I have 24/7 direct access coaching, which means you can message me at any time. So let's say you can't make a call, but you still want to get some coaching. You just shoot me a direct message and I can answer it for you that way. No problem. All right. What does lifetime access mean? Okay, lifetime access means it never expires. It literally means that once you join, you have access to it for life. And will it take your entire life to heal from all of this? No, I promise it won't. It doesn't take time, it takes intention and focus. The more intention and focus you give your healing, the faster it's going to be. And with the right tools, ladies, you skyrocket. Okay, and I guarantee you that you come join my program and do all the things, then I guarantee you will get the result that you're looking for. And lifetime access is simply there to let you know that it doesn't have to be constrained or be stressful for you. It doesn't expire 6 months from now, so you got to get everything in and you get stressed if you missed a call. None of that. This is created for your life to be easy to fit in and to give you all of the access that you need, okay, whenever you need it. Okay, I'd love to join, but it's not in my budget. Of course it's not. It will never be in your budget. That's not how we budget. Ladies, if you're looking at all the little columns, if it's like, all right, toilet paper, home goods, groceries, gas, electric bill, there is no column that says money set aside for my husband's potential pornography addiction. It's never in there. We're never just going to have $4,500 that we've just been waiting. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I have this money that I've been saving for X amount of time. This is exactly what I've wanted to use it for. Ladies, that is not how we work. We always pay for what we value. If you are looking in your budget for permission to heal, it will never be in there. Stop looking there. But we always pay for what we value. We value a new phone. We value getting our car fixed when it breaks down. I valued my daughter having surgery when she broke her arm and the doctor said she needs to have surgery. I said, yes, I value that. I will pay all the thousands of dollars to make that happen. We pay for college tuition. We buy houses that we can't afford. Our houses are not in our budget. That's why we go get a loan. That's why we get a car loan, right? And all of these things aren't just found in our budget. They're things that we make fit into our budget. So don't stop looking for permission from your budget because it's not going to be in there. Okay. And decide, I'm going to make this happen. And then you figure it out. Okay. All right. All right, here's the next one. I can't afford this right now, so I think I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Okay. So here's what I want to offer with that. And it kind of goes back to the budget question is when we tell ourselves, here's something about your brain. When we tell ourselves, I can't, then our brain just thinks that's the answer and it stops looking, right? If you tell yourself, I can't run a 5K. Someone's like, hey, we're running a 5K. Do you want? And you're like, oh, I can't. Well, then your brain just thinks that's the answer and it stops looking for solutions. Instead, what I want to offer is you ask yourself this question, which is, how can I? If you really want to come do this work, if you're really ready to heal, then you ask yourself, how can I make it happen? And that's when your brain starts creating possibilities. And they're not all going to be awesome. This is what we call brainstorming. We write down all of the ideas and all of the thoughts, and not all of them are going to work, but it's what gets your brain looking for answers. Okay, so if in that 5K example, you have friends that were like, hey, we're gonna run this 5K, do you wanna do it with us? If instead of telling yourself, I can't, and just thinking that's the answer, instead you say, how can I? That's when you start looking for solutions. You're like, how can I get a pair of running shoes? Can I look up on the internet a couch to 5K program? Can I create a training program? Can I commit to a training program that gets me to be able to do a 5K by the day that they want to do it, right? That's what creates solutions to what we think are obstacles. All right. Rather than just seeing obstacles as barriers that cannot move, instead, I want to offer that there are always solutions possible. So, some of the examples that I always give are like when I hired my coach, I sold furniture. It was $2,000 and I did not have that. And so I sold furniture in order to make it happen. And before that, when I signed up for life coach training, it was $18,000. And I did not have $18,000 in my budget. That was not sitting there. It was nowhere close. But what I did do is get a credit card with 0 interest for a year. And then I made payments on the credit card for a whole year in order to make that possible. Okay. Does this make sense? I've had clients, my coach sold her car. I've had clients that used their savings or their tax returns or their 401k, or they started delivering groceries, right? What is that called? My brain is missing that right now. They started delivering groceries and doing Uber Eats and all of those things in order to make money in order to do it. I've had clients that have asked loved ones for, hey, this is what I want for my birthday. I would like some money to put toward this. And that's what they did. There are always solutions. You just have to look for them. Okay. So saying like, I can't afford that, maybe I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. That I can't afford it part, instead of saying I can't, I want to offer you ask, how can I? Now, the second part of that question is maybe I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And here's what I want to offer with that is what you're doing right now getting you where you want to go? Is it getting you the result that you're looking for? And if so, great, keep doing that. But if not, and I'm guessing that it's not because you're watching this right now, then it's time to do something different. And doing something different is scary, and it's not what our brain wants to do. Our brain is lazy and it wants to do the least amount of effort possible for the greatest amount of return. And our brain thinks that if we're alive at the end of the day, then that's all we need, that it's completely done its job. And what I want to offer is you're already alive and it's not really all that awesome. Like, it's great and we're grateful, but it's not what you want. And what I'm offering you is something, a life where you're more than just alive, but you're actually thriving. You're actually confident. You're actually not living in fear of your husband relapsing. You're not constantly living with triggers. You're not constantly anxious every time he picks up his phone. You're not hating every time and second guessing every time he wants to initiate intimacy with you. That's not a life that you have to keep living. That's what you have now. And if it's working for you, great. But if it's not, then it's time to do something different. Okay. All right. Okay. It feels impossible to invest in me. I love this one. And I say this with all the love in my heart. I completely understand. Ladies, especially if we're moms, we are not accustomed to putting ourselves or investing in ourselves very much. Whether that's time, energy, money, especially, can feel very foreign and almost irresponsible to invest in ourselves. And here's what I want to offer with that is, I know that it feels irresponsible, but what's more irresponsible? Knowing that there's a problem and fixing it, or knowing there's a problem and ignoring it. And I know that's not how we usually think about it. I know we don't typically think of like that that's what we're doing, that we are seeing a problem and that we're ignoring it, but that's exactly what we end up doing. And we do it with the best of intentions with, well, we don't have that in the budget right now because so-and-so needs to sign up for soccer and my husband, needs his program more. Ladies, how many times have I heard that? We would rather spend it on him. How many of you right now, if your husband came to you today and was like, baby, I want to go forward. I want to heal from this. I want this out of my life. I want our marriage to be the best it can. I found a program that can do it. It's $4,500. There's a 6-month payment plan. It ends tonight. You would be like, go get it yesterday, right? Or if your best friend came to you and said the same thing and said, we've been struggling with this, here's how I'm affected by it. I found this program, it's $4,500. I just don't know if I can spend it on myself. You would be like, girl, go do it. Here's the money. I'll loan it to you. You can pay me back later. And yet we don't attribute that same worth and value to ourselves, right? It feels harder to value ourselves enough to say yes, to value our healing enough to say, yes, here I go. And that's why I'm doing the discount that I'm doing today, because I know what that takes. I know that it takes a significant mental shift to go from there's nothing I can do to I'm starting to take action. And I want that to be something that's as available to you as possible, which is why I'm doing this discount and why I'm doing the payment plan for it today. So if money is a factor, then do this now, because this is the best thing that you will ever do for yourself. Okay, let's go to the next one. What if my husband doesn't understand why I want this, or he doesn't support me? Such a great question. Okay, number one, of course your husband's going to support you. He loves you. For most of you, your husband hates that this is a part of his life. He doesn't want it, and he is going to support you. Now, I want to offer here that you notice what the difference is between, are you looking for his support or are you looking for his permission? Because sometimes we say the word support and what we're actually sneakily, subconsciously thinking is, oh my gosh, what if he says no? And that's the question I want you to ask yourself. This is how you'll know. The way that you'll know if you're wanting his support or his permission is I'll say to you, okay, let's say you talk to him and he says no. Well, most women will say, well, then I guess I'll just have to wait. But if I say, what if he says yes? You're like, yeah, well, then I'll sign up. There's the difference right there. Are you looking for his support or are you looking for his permission? Okay, I really want you to get curious and ask yourself that. And if you're looking for his permission, why? Because it's one thing to just go to your husband and want to talk to him about it. It's a big purchase. I totally understand it, right? It's not like, hey, I spent $20 at Target today. It's, hey, I want to spend $4,500 on this thing in particular. Okay, and if you want to talk to your husband about it first, I'm all in. Go for it. I talk to my husband about lots of big purchases. Okay, I totally get it. But there's a difference between me going to my husband and saying, I think I'm going to do this. This is what I really want. And him saying, all right, well, are you sure? Have you thought about X, Y, and Z? And him being like, I don't really know that's what you need. And then I stand up for myself and I say, I think this is it. And that's what I want to offer. Usually when we say, I want his support, meaning we want his permission, what we're really saying is, I don't trust myself to make this decision. I don't trust myself to say, this is what I want and go after it. Because what if it doesn't get me what I'm hoping it will? And I'll talk about that in a minute, because that's a question that came in. But that's what we're really saying. And here's what I want to offer is that I want to offer that you don't have to wait to trust the decision. Most of the time, what we do is we say, all right, I don't know if this is the right decision. And we wait until the outcome is certain before we decide if it was right or wrong. Right? It's like, okay, oh, now I know. If I look back 5 years ago, I'm like, oh, that was the wrong choice because of how it turned out. Ladies, that is not the way we make decisions. The way we make decisions is we trust ourselves to know what's best for us. And then you have your own back and you say, this is what I'm going to do. And I think it's going to turn out this way. I hope it's going to turn out this way. But even if it doesn't, this is the right decision for me at this time with all of the knowledge that I have and all the information that I have. This is the best next step for me. And I'm going for it. And that's what makes it the right choice. The right choice is simply what you decide to do on purpose. Not what you emotionally want to do, not what your brain thinks is the easiest, but what you choose to do on purpose. So if you choose not to sign up today, no problem. I want you to choose it on purpose, know why you don't, and like those reasons. And if you don't like those reasons, then change your decision. And if your decision is to say yes, then all you need to know is this is my decision, these are my reasons, and I like my reasons. And that's all you need. You back yourself up. And you say, I am making this decision and it's the best decision that I could make for myself right now. And that's what makes it the right one. Okay. The other thing that I want to offer with this is that idea. He says, like, I'm worried that my husband won't understand. Ladies, he might not, because he's not you. He's not married to a man with a porn addiction. At least as far as I know, right? You are married to the man with the porn addiction. You know how this is affecting you. And you've probably not even shared all of it 100% with him. So he might really not understand how this is affecting you. And it's okay. He doesn't need to understand. right? He doesn't understand why you buy all the shoes you buy. He doesn't understand why you buy the kids a new jacket every winter. He doesn't understand why you buy pajamas. Like, why do men not think kids need pajamas? I don't know what that is. But you buy all kinds of stuff that he doesn't understand. Candles. We're just going to add this to the list. Okay. All right. All right, this sounds great. I love what you're doing. I'm handling it okay, and I'll just keep going. Okay, this kind of goes back to a one we already talked about. But ladies, totally good if that were true. But if it were true, you wouldn't be watching this. If it were true that you didn't need anything else, then you wouldn't be looking at this. You wouldn't be searching. You wouldn't have found me in the first place. There's something inside you that you're missing, something that you're struggling with that you can't get past. And I want to offer to help you with that because I know that we can get past it. Because the only thing that's in the way between where you are now and where you want to go is your thoughts and feelings. It's not your husband's behavior. It's not anything that's outside of you. It's all 100% in your control. It's just that nobody's ever taught you how to control it before. And that's what I do. Okay. All right. What if I join and I do all the work and nothing changes? Ooh, such a good question. Okay. Here's what I want to offer with that is I want you to take a look at that question. What if nothing changes? What are you looking at thinking? What are you thinking won't change? Most of the time when I hear this, women will subconsciously have this idea that the thing that won't change is him. Okay. And here's what I want to offer with that. You're right. I am not guaranteeing that if you join my program, your husband will change his behavior. Do I think it's the best, absolute best solution? Yes, I do. Can it influence his behavior? Yes, because you're going to show up differently. Can I guarantee that if you come work with me, that he's going to stop watching porn? No, absolutely not. But here's what I want to offer with that thought is that this thought right here is a red flag that your brain is still trying to get control of his behavior, okay, through what you're doing. Okay. And we already know we've already tried all the things. We've tried putting out, we've tried controlling all the situations, we've tried changing hair and being exactly what we think that he wants, and none of it works and it's exhausting, right? We've already tried to control his behavior and it doesn't work. Okay. And all this means is that your brain is still connecting your behavior to his. And if that is a thought that you have, then it's even more imperative that you come work with me because we need to start breaking up that connection in your brain, that misbelief that you somehow are tethered to your husband's pornography problem because you are not. Are you affected by it? Yes. Are you connected to it? No. It's not your responsibility. His behavior is not your responsibility. It's not how often you have sex. It's not how you show up in your marriage. It's not the emotional drama that you've been carrying around. None of that is true. You are not causing him to go watch porn. And even though we know that logically, emotionally, if you have this thought, is an indication that you still have it tethered. So come work with me because we need to start breaking up with that. Because otherwise your brain is going to continue to keep believing that and then start making it mean that if he continues to watch porn, they're going to make it mean something about you, which is usually makes it mean that you're not enough, which is not true. Okay. And here's the other thing about this question. It's like, okay, what if I join and nothing changes? Ladies, you will change. You already have. Just by following me, listening to the podcast, you are already changing. You're changing your views, your perspectives, your thoughts, your feelings. And all of that is just the beginning. All of that is just the start, just a hint, a spark of what could be. When you come work with me and we actually end up applying it, that is what's going to create the transformation that you are looking for. Okay. You will change and you will change so much faster if you have someone with all the right tools teaching you how to do it and helping you along the way. Okay. All right. What if I fail? That kind of goes back. It's very similar to the last question, right? First of all, I want to ask you, what does that mean? What would be a failure? You said, what if I fail? What would be a failure to you? Let's say that happens, whatever you think failure is. Let's say that it happens. Let's say you join and you fail, okay? Despite my guarantee that you're going to succeed. All you got to do is show up, ladies, and do the work. You're going to succeed. I promise you. I have perfectly created a program that is going to guarantee your success. I am literally offering you a guarantee. My husband's always telling me, you need to make sure that you tell them that you have a guarantee. I have a guarantee. You come join, you work with me. I guarantee you will get the results that you're looking for. But let's just say, despite my guarantee and all the success of myself and all the hundreds of clients that I've had, you fail. Okay. You're the unicorn. It doesn't work for you. Okay. What is the worst that happens? Maybe you'll feel disappointed. That's the question I get. The response that I get most often is, I'm worried that if I fail, and then if I say, okay, well, why is that a problem? You're like, well, then I'll just be really disappointed that it didn't work. Okay. Here's what I want to offer that disappointment is optional. Did you know this? It's not something that has to happen. Disappointment is how you think about what happened, and you can choose whether or not you want to feel disappointed. Okay. And you don't have to feel that way, even if things don't work out the way that you hope that they will. You don't have to feel disappointed. Okay. You can choose to be proud of yourself for taking initiative and making the effort and going after something, and then use that as a stepping stone to whatever comes next. But here's what I want to offer too. What is more of a disappointment? Going after it and not getting it, or not going after it at all? When we don't go after it at all that's happening is we are feeling disappointed ahead of time. And that's how we feel, right? When somebody else does something, we're like, oh, I wish I could do that. We feel a little disappointed that we're not there. You're already feeling disappointed. And I guarantee you that's not something you're going to feel. If you come work with me, I will help you ensure your success because I have the right tools and I have it set up in a way that is guaranteed to get you where you want to go. Because I've been where you are and I'm here now and I know the steps to get from here to there. Okay. All right. Here's my final thought that I want to leave you guys with is when you think about where you are now and you think about where you want to go and you're considering my program as a way to help you get there, I want you to ask yourself, is joining this program going to get me closer to where I want to go or further away? And if it's going to get you closer, then it's time to say yes. Again, ladies, today, only at midnight tonight, this sale, this discount expires. It's taking $1,500 off the total price. So if money is something that your brain is convinced is the problem, then this is the best time to sign up. But here's what I want to offer. We always think that it's money. We always think that it's time, effort, money, energy, whatever it is. It's never any of that. What it comes down to is belief. Do you believe that it's possible for you to be healed? Do you believe? Do you want to be healed? And now most of us logically are going to say yes. They're like, of course I want to be healed from this. I don't want to be miserable forever. And yet emotionally, part of us doesn't want to do the work. Part of us wants us to curl up in a ball and wake up tomorrow and just have it be gone. Or have him just stop watching porn yesterday and then have everything go back to how it was. Ladies, I know that because I've been there. But here's what I want to offer with that is that if you logically know that you want to move forward and emotionally, you now recognize that part of you doesn't, it's not a problem. Of course, part of you doesn't, because it's not easy. Is it simple? Yes. Is it doable? 100%. But it's hard and it's scary. And so our brain wants to stay here in what we know, the discomfort of what we know. As horrible and miserable as it is, it doesn't want to do the work. It wants to just stay in the cave. And what I want to offer is now that you know that part of you wants to move forward and part of you doesn't, you get to decide which one you listen to. You can listen to the part of you that doesn't want to move forward. No problem. You don't have to join my program. It's totally optional. Nobody's forcing you to do it. Okay. But if you don't do it, nothing changes. In fact, it gets worse. But if you do say yes, if you listen with your cognitive brain, okay, your prefrontal cortex, and you make a decision from that place of where do I want to go? And am I willing to say yes to the possibility, the belief that it could be different? That's when everything changes. Again, the only difference between where you are right now and where you want to go is your thoughts and feelings. Everything is within your control. The way to change your life is to stop focusing on what's not in your control and start concentrating and changing what is. And that's how you get the life of your dreams. And that's what I want to offer you. All right, ladies, I love you so much, and I hope I'll see you inside. Take care.